Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you a truly unhinged October TBR. There's no way I can read all the books that I'm going to show you today. It's just not possible. I counted it up. There's 23 books. I can't do it. Did that stop me from continuing to add titles to this list? No, it did not. So it's just a pile of possibilities. It's just a pile of possibilities. And I'm just gonna read to the best of my ability and we'll just see where we end up at the end of the month. But truly, it's so many books. It's so many books. Okay, let's start off with Self-Destructing TBR for October. I keep wanting to say November. I only have one book on my self-destructing TBR for October, so go me. So proud of myself. And it is Only Bad Options by Jennifer Estep. Is that how you say her name? So sorry, it's a very shiny book. This is science fantasy. It's set in space, but there's magic. I've read Protect the Prince by this author and really liked it, and I really bought this on a whim. I really liked the title. And I'm pretty sure there's a romance in here and adventure and high stakes, and I think it'll be a romping good time is what I think. So that's a self-destructing TBR. Next, I have these organized by category. Next category, let's go through my Libro FM. So I was a bookseller for 3 years, and I am still a social media manager for an indie bookstore. So I'm going on 5 years of working in the bookseller world. And so I have an obscene amount of audiobooks from Libro FM for their bookseller program. And I am trying to work my way through it. I tried it out this past month, which I'll talk about in my wrap up, and it went really well. And so I have a tag for all the advanced listening copies that I got for November of last year, and I'm going to read them in October of this year, so that tag is then cleared for when I get the November ALCs. Gosh, I hope that explanation tracked out loud the way it tracks in my head. So these are just what I have in that tag. I DNF freely and widely doing this project. So I am not committed to finishing these, but I would like to attempt all of them, whether or not I keep them or not. And I don't really know what very many of them are about, so I'm not even going to really do a description. I'm just going to show you the cover, and then we can move along lickety split. So Whiteout is on the list. The Vermilion Emporium, which I had totally forgotten about. I don't even know if people liked it or not. I don't think I've heard anything about it since it came out last year. How Far the Light Reaches. I'm very excited for this one. Like, so excited. I've been wanting to read it for a few months now. Because I love anything about the ocean and ocean life. And my favorite type of nonfiction is the type where it's about like a very specific topic, but then kind of like a memoir of the authors is weaved through that super specific topic. And I think that's what this is. Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. I love Delilah Green. That was one of my favorite romances. I gave that one 5 stars. I've been putting this book off so hard, but this is the month I'm going to do it. So I'm going to read that or listen to that. And then, Heart of the Sun Warrior. I just finally read Daughter of the Moon Goddess because I knew this was going to be on this list. And then, How to Excavate a Heart, which I think is YA. Kiss Her Once for Me, which I think was pretty universally loved last year when it came out. And then Bloodmarked. But here's the thing. I remember almost nothing of what happened in Legendborn. So I am going to have to reread Legendborn or find a super spoilery vlog of Legendborn. So if you know of a super spoilery vlog for Legendborn, will you link it for me down below or tell me whose channel to go check out, because I remember nothing. So I am definitely going to have to reread Legendborn to read Bloodmarked. That's my Libro FM list for October. And the next books that are on my unread shelf that I would like to read sooner rather than later. I have a few carryovers from this month. And yeah, so I have the Golden Enclaves, which is the, oh gosh, this one's really shiny too, which is the third book in The Scholomance by Naomi Novik. You will see book 1 and 2 in my wrap-up for September, whenever that goes up. Next, I have Mammoth at the Gates by Nevo. This is the 4th installment in the Singing Hills cycle. Super duper short novella. I also have this on audio, which I'm excited about because I really like the narrator for this series. I also have The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams. This is the 2nd book in the 9th Reign series. Is that what the series is called? This is for Steph's Patreon series read along. I think I'm behind though. I was supposed to have this read in September and I did not get to it, which that is fine. I used to be so on top of it for the Patreon book clubs and buddy reads, not just for Steph, but for other people. And I have so let go of that self-imposed obligation. It's a little funny. It's a little funny how fast I flipped around on that. I would also really like to read The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I tried to read this in the spring and just wasn't in a good headspace for it. And I would really like to read it this fall. The Vanished Birds, which was his debut, is one of my favorite books of the year. Like whenever anybody says, what's your favorite book of 2023? That's the book I say. I know this is totally different style and project, but I really want to read it. Now I'm a little intimidated by it, but I really want to read it. And I have 2 carryovers from this month. I have Rebecca, which is the September book for Novel Pairings podcast, and the episode discussing this just came out, so I need to read this before I can listen to the podcast. And I've never read Rebecca before, so I thought, why not now? And the other carryover from this month is The Dark Lord's Daughter by Patricia C. Reedy. This is middle grade. This just came out a couple weeks ago. And Patricia C. Reedy is my favorite author from my childhood, and so I'm like contractually obligated to read her new book. I don't know what to tell you. I did start it. I read the first chapter. Yes, I read the first chapter and then was very distracted, and so I had to not be reading so many books. So I set it aside, but I would like to keep going with it. Hopefully, currently we have like 5 more days to September, so there is a chance I could still squeeze this in to this month, but if I don't, it's October's problem. All right, and then the last category is I wrote down spookish. It's my spookish category. These are basically the fall spooky-ish books that I have on my physical shelves that I have got. I've had some of these for a while. One of them is an arc. Well, 4 of them are arcs, but one of them is like legitimately an arc, like the book isn't out yet, and the 3 other arcs are arcs from like either earlier this year or last year. So they've been here for a while. So the first one is Angelika, Frankenstein Makes Her Match. This is by Sally Thorne. I really loved The Hating Game by Sally Thorne when it first came out, as did I think a lot of people. And every Sally Thorne book since hasn't quite hit for me in the same way, but I keep reading her, hoping that it will hit the same way. I've heard really mixed reviews for this one, but I have it and I would really like to try it before I get rid of it, just because I'm always convinced that the next book I read by her will be my next favorite book. And then the next one is The Nighthouse Keeper by Laura Senf. If you watched my creepy middle grade recommendations video, I talked about The Clackety, and then I talked about this briefly because this comes out in October, and this is the sequel in that series, and I'm so excited. I think when I read The Clackety, I think I listened to it on audio, and I didn't even realize until I saw on somebody else's YouTube video that there's like illustrations in these books. And I'm going to try and find one. And like there's creepy as all get out. But like, look at that. Oops, you can even see it. I'm so excited for this book. I think it's going to be a creepy good time. I'm pumped to read this. I also have Bindle Punk Bruja. I'm being honest, I don't even remember what this is, but it's on my shelf. I think it's a mystery. It's witchy. It says Boardwalk Empire meets the Vanishing Half. It's a historical fantasy set in the 20s. Yeah, and then there's like a mystery. Yeah, I think this could be fun. So I have this one. And then I have VenCo by Sherry Dimaline, which I have only heard wonderful things about. I read one of her YA books earlier this year, which I don't think is even on here because I don't think it was out yet when VenCo came out. And I liked it so much. I loved her writing style, and I've been really wanting to read VenCo ever since, and I really want to read all of her backlists, but I wanted VenCo to be the next one that I read. So I have this one, which I've heard, like I said, I've heard only good things. And then finally, I'm embarrassed to say how long this book has been on my shelf. And I put it on my fall TBR every year, and I still haven't read it. And it's We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Berry, which I think is magical realism about a field hockey team. That's what it is. It's about a field hockey team and witches. And I've also heard rave reviews for this. So I'm excited to finally see what all the fuss is about. I don't know. Experience it for myself. Have a good time. I just, not have to look at it anymore and think, gosh, I really need to read that book. That's what I'm looking forward to, because that would be a good feeling. So let me consult my notes. That is it, my friends. That is my very lofty TBR for October. T's and P's for me, please, as I attempt to make some sort of organization out of this mess. Just hope I get lots of reading time. Well, lots of audiobook time, because really that is how I've been surviving lately. And I think I have almost all of these. All the physical books I just showed you. I think I have almost all of them on audio, in addition to like the strict Libro FM list I have. This is what I was telling you, where my Libro FM is out of control. And I need some help and some accountability in getting those audiobooks listened to so they're not just languishing. Well, if it's online, it can't really languish on a shelf, but you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying. And then let's also hope that I do not add any more books to this list, because I just looked at Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. It's over there. I haven't read it yet. That's a good spooky time book too. I could put that on this TBR, but I'm not. This is it. Okay, so if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you have any tips and tricks for whittling down a TBR, let me know. If you also have a ridiculously long TBR for October, solidarity, let me know. If you want to leave a comment but don't have anything to say, let's do the classic book stack. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye.